Hey everybody, what is going on? My name is Raven, and welcome back! Today, we are talking about H.H. Holmes. Now, for those that do not know, he was an American serial killer. He was active from December of 1891 to November of 1894. But he actually had a different name, so his actual name was Herbert Webster Mudgett. Mudgett? Mudgett? Mudgett. I'm going to stick with Mudgett. Now, this man, he had 4 spouses. 4 different spouses. Won the world. But anyway, that's not what we're talking about, although I will list their names. He is a murderer, a serial killer, which is why we're here today. Now, it is said that he confessed to 27 murders, including people who were, at the time, proven to be alive. He was convicted and sentenced to death for only 1 murder. And his accomplice was also a business partner, Benjamin Pitzel. I'm gonna go with Pitzel. Now, his victims, they were all killed in the building that he owned in Chicago, located about 3 miles west of the Columbian Exposition. Now, one of his first murders was known to be his mistress, Julia Smythe. She was the wife of Ned Connor, who had moved into a Holmes building and began working at his pharmacy's jewelry center. After he found out about the affair, he quit his job and moved away, leaving Julia and their daughter Pearl behind. Julia gained custody of the daughter Pearl and remained at the hotel, continuing a relationship with Holmes. Now, Julia and Pearl disappeared on Christmas Eve in 1891. Holmes later claimed that she died during an abortion, though that was never confirmed. But it is said he had another mistress named Emmeline Sigrande, who began working on the building in May 1892 and disappeared that December as well. Another victim who vanished was a woman named Edna Van Tassel, who was also believed to have been among his victims. Now, Holmes' usual murder method was by suffocation of his victims, including overdose of chloroform, exposure to lighting gas fumes, trapped in an airless vault, to give some examples. He also claimed to have used starvation and burning his victims alive in his castle. In 1893, he came across an actress named Minnie Williams. He convinced her to transfer the deed of her property to a man named Alexander Bond, who was one of Holmes' fake identities. He then later signed it to his partner in crime, Pitzel, giving him the alias, that was a word, Benton T. Lyman. A month after that, Holmes and Williams presented themselves as a man and wife, rented an apartment in Chicago's Lincoln Park. Minnie's sister Anne came to visit, and in July she wrote to her aunt that she planned to accompany brother Harry to Europe. Neither Minnie nor Anne were seen alive after July 5th, 1893. I did forget to mention that Holmes met Benjamin Pitzel, a carpenter with a criminal past, who was working in the same building. Holmes used Pitzel as his right-hand man for several criminal schemes. District Attorney later described Pitzel as Holmes' tool, his creature. Now, it is said that he also had a formal medical education. Now, I don't know what that was meant by that. I don't know if he went to go be a doctor and he just dropped out. I don't know. But basically, he was able to sell skeletons to medical labs and schools. It is also said that he was stripping the flesh off of bodies, dissecting them, and preparing the viable skeletons to sell to those places. Now, this is where things get a little hairy. Not that murder isn't hairy, but he was jailed briefly on the charge of selling mortgaged goods. He was promptly bailed out, but while in jail, he struck up a conversation with convicted outlaw Marion Hedgepath, who was serving a 25-year sentence. He told him that he wanted to make a insurance claim out of $10,000 by taking a policy out on himself and then faking his death so he can claim the money. He promised Hedgepath a $500 commission in exchange for the name of a lawyer who could be trusted. He found a lawyer, Jephthah Howe, who was going to help with this plan because they found the scheme brilliant. Then suspicions came to play. He refused to pay the insurance company. So basically after that, it was up to Pitzel to do the insurance policy, and he agreed to do it so that the wife could collect the $10,000 insurance policy, which she had to share the profits with Holmes and the lawyer Howe. He used the means of death by lab explosion and body disfigurement. However, it is said that Holmes killed Pitzel by knocking him unconscious with chloroform and setting his body on fire with the use of benzene. However, In his confession, Holmes implied that Peitzel was still alive after he used a chloroform on him before he set him on fire. That's horrifying. Set a man on fire who's alive? However, forensic evidence determined that the chloroform had been administered after his death, which the insurance company was unaware of. To take the suicide to exonerate Holmes should be charged with the murder. Now, this poor man's wife was manipulated into allowing 3 of her 5 children, Alice, Nellie, and Howard, to be placed in his custody. The oldest daughter and the baby remained with Mrs. Peitzel. Now, Holmes and the 3 children traveled throughout the northern United States and into Canada. He escorted Mrs. Peitzel along a parallel route, all the while using his aliases and lying to Mrs. Peitzel concerning her husband's death, claiming that he was in London, as well as lying to her about the true whereabouts about her 3 missing children, the one that she gave custody to him. He would confess to murdering Alice and Nellie by forcing them into a large trunk and locking them inside. He drilled a hole in the lid of the trunk and put an end of a hose through the hole, and then attaching the other end to a gas line and asphyxiate the girls. He burned their nude bodies in the cellar of his rental house in Toronto. That home no longer exists. He also killed poor young Howard Peitzel. I cannot really see where or how, but he ended up basically chopping the body up. He burned the body, and the boy's teeth and bones were discovered in Holmes' chimney. This is just truly horrifying. I mean, this is completely ridiculous. You're murdering innocent people. Why do all these people do this? Why do I keep covering this? Because word needs to get out that this was happening, and I'm afraid the history is going to repeat itself, so here we are. Now, I did say earlier in the video I would mention his wife's names. First one was Clara Lovering. They married in 1878. Myrta Belknap, married in 1886. Minnie Williams in 1893. And Georgiana Yoke in 1894. So it sounds like he was also murdering his wives. How fun. Even though I don't know why they put Minnie Williams as his spouse when it is said that they faked the marriage. Oh, and here we go. Apparently the doctor education he had is because his former occupation was a physician. And he was also a housekeeper, he was a drugstore employee, and a hotel owner. He was all of these things. I do hope all the victims rest in peace, including the children and all those that were unnamed. No matter how many it was. I do hope they all rest in peace. And I do hope you guys liked the video. If you did, be sure to hit the like button before you go. And if you are new to this channel and if you have not subscribed yet, it is free to do so. So please hit that subscribe button. And also don't forget to hit the notification bell so you are notified every time I upload, which is almost every single day. I do try as close as possible to be multiple times a week. Sometimes I do take a break to kind of unwind, to look up into more stories, to try to figure out what I'm going to do with the next game videos I'm going to be doing as well. And I may or may not be uploading different games in the future. There's going to be a new game as soon as it comes out that I'm going to be playing. You guys will see when I do that as well. So I do hope you liked the video, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!